Two words for the Blue Jays right now. I'm embarrassed. I mean, you can see I don't have my hat on. Just got swept by the Orioles 8-3 final through 11 innings. Just none of these guys get anything except for a base hit. I mean, when you're losing constantly to teams in your own division and you're getting picked off at first, I mean, that's just embarrassing. Like, I know Whit Merrifield's been a pretty good contact hitter this year, but in a extra inning situation, you cannot be getting picked off at first base. Like, you just can't. It's absolutely embarrassing. And then this bullpen management, horrendous. I don't know why to keep insisting that Jordan Romano, Yimi Garcia, and I forget the other guy's name, that they keep going out there, Eric Swanson, that's who, that they keep going out there in leverage situations and they just keep failing. Just keep failing. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it's absolutely embarrassing that you can't win against your own division at all. And if you do, it's just barely. I mean, yes, we got two wins in New York, and we somehow managed two wins against Tampa Bay. But now we're 5-12 against our own division. We're gonna end up in last place, and it's our own fault. It's not even because the other teams are playing better than us. It's because we just suck. It's because we suck. I mean, to be 25 years old and making $11 million, and Vlad, I forget what he signed this year. He's only 24, and I get it. They got big star last names, Guerrero and Bichette, and then Biggio. I don't even know what he's doing on a major league team. But it's like, how sometimes people get into business because their parents are rich. It's almost like these guys are here only because their parents were really good baseball players too, that their dads are really good. I mean, if you take away their last name, they're basically worth nothing. If you ask me at the way they're playing this year, yeah, Bichette, what a 3 or 4 hit game, I don't even remember now. Um, but like, it's just like it's a miracle that they're getting hits right now. It's like a miracle that it's actually landing in the outfield or just getting by the infield. It's like that's what we're cheering for. We're cheering for them to actually be able to get a base hit. I mean, it's horrendous. It's embarrassing. I mean, I don't even want to be a fan right now. I mean, it's a complete joke that year after year after year, we keep complimenting what we've been missing. This year we had left-handed at bats. What's Marshall been able to do for us so far? I mean, the first few weeks he was pretty good, but now he's just been cold. Can't do anything. I mean, it's embarrassing when Don Manley, who was just with the Marlins for what, 2 or 3 years, with horrible, horrible records, looks like he's embarrassed to be on this team. I mean, that's embarrassing to see as a fan that Don Manley looks like what the is going on after he just spent a bunch of years in Miami, or at least a few years, I should say. Um, but like I normally get to as many Jays games as I can, at least 6 or 7 a year most of the time. Um, but right now I don't even want to go. Like I don't even want to give them my support with the way they're playing. Like they don't deserve it. I mean, maybe that sounds petty. Maybe that sounds um I don't know. Maybe that sounds like a little like rude, I guess you could say, or selfish. Uh, but like these guys need to be held accountable for for how horrible they're playing. And truthfully, John Snyder needs to be held accountable for the way he's been managing. I mean, really, like if you can see that Jordan Romano cannot pitch in high leverage situations, yet you keep throwing him out there, you keep pushing the limit on him. You got to bring him out in the eighth, right? You got to make him the star. You got to make him get 5 outs or 4 outs instead of only three, right? Got to bring out Yimi Garcia every time the game is fucking tied, right? You got to bring out Eric Swanson every time you're down by a run, right? Or every time you're up by a run, right? You just got to bring those guys out over and over and over and over. There's no other pitchers. Well, actually, there isn't. Simberser, Mesa sucks. Trevor Richards, Zach Pop. Like, who else is there? What, are you going to bring up Mitch White to eat some innings for you? Like, honestly, that might be the best bet at this point. Like, honestly, I don't know what else to say. I mean, we're literally going to end up in last place. And not because the other teams are better. Not because the other teams are better. Simply just because we can't play right now. The Red Sox are not a better team. The Orioles, I'm sorry, they're not a better team. They're just not. The Yankees, we should be tied with them. But instead, we're in the basement of the AL East. Like, this almost feels like the 2012 and 2013 teams where we were supposed to be. These are going to be the good years. You got left-handed hitters, you got switch hitters, you got right-handed hitters. Like, I realized we don't have switch hitters this year, um, but in the 2012 through 14 years, our lineup was pretty evened out between left-handed hitters and right-handed hitters, and having a couple of switch hitting hitters at the top of the lineup with Jose Reyes and Melky Cabrera, and then bringing R.A. Dickey and Mark Burley. That's what it feels like. I mean, poor Kevin Gossman. He's the only pitcher that's able to consistently, other than a couple of games. I guess Chris Bassett's been pretty good too. That can actually go 6+ innings, is only giving up less than 4 runs for the most part, and we can't win the game. Like, if they don't turn it around, they're not going to sign a big free agent this year. Matt Chapman isn't going to come back. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's a frustration, and like, I don't even want to wear a Blue Jays hat right now. Like, that's how embarrassed I am for the team, and I'm not even on it. I mean, I'm not a major league pitcher, and I never will be. But I mean, basically, all you got to do to get these guys out right now is throw a strike down the middle. They're just going to stare at it. Throw fastball high. They'll probably swing at that, and then either throw a breaking pitch in, or just throw a breaking pitch down and away, and they'll swing at it. I mean, that's literally all you have to do. And even if they swing on the fastball right down the middle, they're probably just going to pop it up somewhere or hit it out the measly out to center field or left field. And even if they hit a home run once, you're likely going to outscore them. So really, even with the left-handed hitters, that's basically the MO of this team this year. I mean, yesterday in the bottom of the 10th inning, I believe it was bottom of the 10th, Bo Bichette looks at the fastball right down the middle, swings at the fastball high, then he swings, or no, called strike on the outside corner, and then he gets a ball at top of the zone again, and then slider down and away, swings at that out. Then Vlad, okay, at least he made contact, but he hits the fastball right down the middle, right out the center field. Couldn't have made it any easier for Cedric Mullins. And then Alejandro Kirk, at least he actually had a decent at bat. At least he actually put some effort in. But basically, it was a full count, and then he struck out. But again, like at least it was he swung at pitches that are actually hittable. Just missed them, and then the pitches he didn't swing at were actually actual balls. Um, so at least he had an actually somewhat decent at bats. But I don't know. I guess Brandon Belt's where he was, where Chapman was last year, up to a really slow start. I mean, at least Andy Jansen been hitting well, but the whole catching shared thing has just been, I don't know, really mixed and matched this year. There's no consistency there. One day Jansen's catching for a pitcher, and then the next start for that pitcher, Kirk's catching, and it's just there's no consistency whatsoever. I mean, obviously this year, in terms of game calling, Danny Jansen's been superior to Alejandro Kirk. Don't know what's going on there, but Kirk has not been able to game call well this year. Um, and then even just his hitting stats, I know he didn't hit a lot of, I didn't hit a lot of home runs last year. I think he ended up with like 12 or something like that. But basically, he hit a lot of doubles. You can't even expect him to hit doubles this year. I mean, he's basically getting a single here and there and striking out, and maybe the occasional walk. And that's basically the whole team. I mean, it's sad. Like it's really sad. Like Biggio doesn't even swing the bat, but yet he's in the lineup constantly. Like I don't know. I mean, really, if you take away Biggio's last name, you take away Bobichet's last name, you take away Vlad's last name, what did they mean? Like in all seriousness, what did they even mean? Because their dads were Hall of Famers, but I know their dads didn't play like this. Just no way. And if they did, they would have been held accountable. I mean, it's ironic. This morning I saw something about Michael Jordan, which I realized he did play a little bit in MLB, but he's talking about basketball, how before they ever signed big contracts, that they actually have to earn it. And now in the NBA, it's like guys are being guaranteed huge contracts before they even step foot into the NBA, just when they get drafted. And it's like the same thing's happening with the MLB right now with the young players. I mean, last year they had the whole strike, and the season was delayed, obviously. And basically, what it's all about is that they wanted less years of arbitration so that the players could get play or could get paid um, faster, the younger players, right? And but it goes into Michael Jordan's point where it's like these guys don't even really have to prove themselves anymore, and they basically want to be guaranteed big contracts before they even prove themselves. And I think that's playing out here. I mean, I get it. The Jays want to keep Bo Bichette as long as possible because there is that potential. He's got the Bichette last name. He showed glances of greatness. Um, but so far, he's not played defensively or really even offensively as someone who deserves $11 million a year. He just hasn't. Okay, yes, he already has what, 7 or 8 home runs. That's great. But again, where's the defense? Where is the strong defense? Has it been getting better each year? Yes, but not the extent that Vlad has getting a gold glove first base. But then what has Vlad done other than be defensively good at first base? I mean, he's got 6 home runs, sure, and he's got 27 RBIs, sure. So basically an RBI every other day, essentially. But same thing, like we are not paying him to be a high percentage base hitter, or like we're paying him or we ideally want to pay him to be a home run hitter. And right now he's on track to hit less than 32 home runs by the way he's going. So it's upsetting. Just a few years ago we were talking about how it was going to be um, Vlad at first, Bichette at shortstop, and then you're going to figure out third and second between Biggio and Austin Martin. And I realized that Martin was part of the trade for Barrios, and at least this year Barrios has been worth it. Well, last year certainly wasn't that way, and it's like now it's like Biggio's not even part of that picture whatsoever. Um, and Bichette and Vlad have not been playing to the level that the fans expected them to. And I don't know if it's a lack of accountability, a lack of caring, a lack of trying. Is it just easy to them? They just got here because of their last name. Like I really don't know what's going on. But we also don't have Chapman next year, and it's like if we can't even count on our shortstop to be good defensively, we don't know what type of production we're getting from Vlad. Merrifield's not here next year. Um, if we take away Merrifield and Chapman at least has been okay defensively this year. He hasn't been the platinum glove standard that we're used to. Um, Merrifield's been pretty good at second base for the most part. Who the hell's going to play second and third next year if those guys aren't coming back? Like Biggio, Espinal, like we're going to put Biggio at second, Espinal at third. Like it just can't happen. If we already suck this much with those guys here, how much are we going to suck if we can't get those guys here next year? Because right now we're out of trade options with Biggio. I mean, really, who's going to take him? Like, really, the only possible way the only possible way that anyone is taking Biggio is if for some reason, some foregone reason, other than of course it's this franchise, is that at the trade deadline, we're actually at the position where we might as well make trades. The only team I can really see taking Biggio is the Oakland Athletics if Biggio is a part of like five players we send for one of their players. That's the only way I can see Kevin Biggio getting off this team via trade. But you're not going to be able to trade him for anything else. You're not going to be able to package him in a deal for a relief pitcher. You're not going to be able to package him in a deal for another power hitter. The only way Biggio's off this team is if we designate him for assignment and he goes on waivers. But those are only two options. And really, the only helpful option I see right now um, is if he just like he just leaves his contract. I don't even know if that's possible. But it's pretty upsetting. I mean, I wish him the best, but it's just not happening in Toronto. Um, Basically, I saw in a comment on YouTube on another channel was basically like the MLB figured out how to get Kevin Biggio out, and that was just to throw strikes because he doesn't swing. And you know what? Again, I'm not a major league pitcher. I never will be, but essentially that's all you got to do. And to everyone else on the team, again, fastball down the middle. They're either going to swing and hit it right to center field or left field or maybe right field if he can actually go the opposite way. Um, or they're just going to look at it for a strike and then they're going to swing at the fastball high, curveball down or curveball in or some type of breaking pitch down or in. And that's basically all you got to do to get this team out right now. I mean, it's just you got rid of Teoscar. I mean, we saw in the Seattle series. That's all we did against a fastball high, breaking pitch down, struck him out each and every time, basically, except for the home run he hit us in game three. And then, yeah, like got rid of him, got rid of Gurriel and his goofiness. Like we thought that was going to help turn the team around. And to be honest, the first few series it seemed that way. But it's like I don't know, is there a bigger effect coming from Vlad that the effect he has on the other players is just to be goofy? Like I don't know what it is. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like do did not care about winning. Like do not look at it. It's like this is the Orioles. This is our division. We better can win. You did not look at it that way. Like it's frustrating, absolutely frustrating. Um, I'm a diehard Jays fan. Um, this has been this has definitely been one of the most disappointing years to watch. I mean, 2017 was rough, but I mean, no more no more Encarnacion. Donaldson was injured. Tulowitzki was basically gone already. The 2016 team was not really existent in 2017, 2018, same thing. 2019, no more Donaldson, no more Bautista. I think Batista might have been gone out of 2018. I think he was done after. No, I think he's here in 2018, but 2019, no. Um, you know, and then 2019, Vlad came up. 2019, Biggio came up. 2019, Bichette came up. We had Freddie Galvis, and things were okay. We kind of expected to have a bad record that year. I think we had like 95 losses. So I think we are 67 and 95 um, back in 2019. And then 2020, we got the playoffs, lost both games to Tampa Bay, of course. 2021, missed the playoffs by one game. And then 2022 got destroyed by Seattle. Um, and I don't know, like I guess Toronto fans, all we can really be thankful for is Kawhi Leonard in 2019. Just by miracle and luck, we ended up winning the NBA championship, and that's really it. I mean, other than that, we've had nothing to be happy about. Um, and it's not like, again, it's not like okay, we have crappy teams. We know, we kind of just hope they'll get some wins and have an okay year. Like these are teams we're expecting to win, especially the Leafs. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I got two words for the Blue Jays right now. I'm embarrassed. Um, it's ridiculous. You know, this is the first time in my life I don't want to go to a Blue Jays game. Like I generally don't want to go. It says a lot because I've been a diehard baseball fan, especially obviously the Blue Jays for like 15 years now. That's all I think about. How are the Jays doing? And this is the first time in my life I don't want to go. Don't want to wear their hat. don't even want to root for them because it's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And this is not even last year embarrassing when they got swept in Seattle because there was just things that pissed me off there, like Vlad's glove breaking twice in the same year, and those were just stupid things that happened, and there was nothing we could do about it. Like it was just stupid things. Like it was out of the Jays' control. It was just like the baseball gods were against us. But this year, it's their own fault. It's their own fault. Them losing games again, it's not even because the other teams are better. Excuse me. It's because they suck. They're allowing the other teams to be better than them, but they're not. The Jays just suck this year. But that's it. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make a video turn Tampa Bay because it's probably just gonna sound exactly like this, except this talking about the Orioles. I'll be talking about the Rays, and it's 4 games in the Trop. So yeah, I think once we're out of the Trop, I fully expect they get swept. We'll be game below 500. Um, Other than the first series, there's no excuses to be below under 500. Um, but we're not far from it. We're only 3 above, and we got 4 in the Trop, and see what happens from there. But anyways, go Jays go. I guess as usual. See you guys in the next video. Take care.